Respected Director Sir, our esteemed guest for the day, Executive Director from TIFAC, and all our colleagues, we welcome you to this lecture on the occasion of the National Science Day. As we all know, National Science Day is celebrated all over India with great enthusiasm on 28th of February every year to commemorate the invention of Raman effect in India by the Indian physicist C.V. Raman on the same day in the year 1928. And for his great success in the field of science in India, C.V. Raman was awarded and honored with the Nobel Prize in Physics in the year 1930. And the theme of the year for 2017 is Science and Technology for Specially Abled Persons. And that is our day, that is our topic for the lecture today. Before we start, may I request our Director Sir to please welcome our esteemed guest for the day, Professor Prabhat Ranjan ji.
We are old friends, no welcoming needed.
Thank you, sir. A few words for our guest.
Good evening. Dr. Prabhat Ranjan ji, Executive Director, TIFAC, colleagues. We are celebrating the National Science Day, and on this occasion, I want to congratulate all of you. My best wishes for very happy and productive National Science Day. In fact, Science Day has a lot of underlying guiding principles to not only propagate science but also inculcate scientific temperament amongst the fellow citizens of the country. Charu has very well said that it is a kind of commemoration of the Raman effect. In fact, Raman effect was first communicated on this very day. So from the point of science communication, it was made public on this day. So from the point of science communication, it has a lot of relevance for all of us, those who are working for science communication. It was started first time in the year 1987. And the beginning is very interesting. In fact, a common man, incidentally a teacher, somewhere from Uttar Pradesh, some village from Kanpur, he writes a letter to the NCSTC, National Council for Science and Technology Communication, asking for why don't you pursue an idea to celebrate Scientists' Day, not the Teachers' Day, but the like Teachers' Day, in the line of Teachers' Day, he suggested to organize Scientists' Day. So we had a discussion. Discussion was chaired by Secretary, subsequently by Minister of Science and Technology. And it was decided that we should be celebrating National Science Day, not the Scientists' Day, to give importance for science communication, science popularization, and inculcation of science. Since then, we are having a number of programs, maybe beginning on this day or concluding on this day. Some organizations, they organize science weeks, science fortnights, or even science months. So in the series, I am very happy to have Professor Ranjan, who has been known to me for a long time, as he already said, and he is working on multidisciplinary areas, ranging from innovation to science management, technology for disables, science communication, and more recently, he is associated with technology forecasting, planning the future, looking at the technology and the models, what will be the future, and what kind of technologies would be required in the future. So he is working on these interdisciplinary areas. So I welcome you once again, and let us have advantage of his learned speech on this occasion. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for setting the stage for this lecture. And if you allow me, I'll just briefly introduce our guest for the day. Professor Prabhat Ranjan took over as Executive Director of TIFAC, which is Technology Information Forecasting and Assessment Council. In the era of big data, it's very important to analyze this. Now, TIFAC is an autonomous organization set up in 1988 under the Department of Science and Technology, and basically to look ahead in technology domain, as rightly said by Director Sir. Professor Ranjan did his graduation from IIT Kharagpur and Masters from TU, and then he received his PhD from University of California, Berkeley, based on his research in the nuclear fission at Lawrence Berkeley Laboratory during 1983-86. He is also recipient of National Science Talent Search Award in 1976. Professor Ranjan participated in the nuclear fission program of the country after doing his PhD, and he has continued his research in the Saha Institute of Nuclear Physics, Calcutta, and then he was also a professor at Dhirubhai Ambani Institute of Information and Communication Technology. He is recipient of numerous awards, so to name a few, it is HP Innovate 2009 Award, NCP EDP Emphasis Universal Design Award 2012, and Bihar Gaurav Samman 2012. Now, not taking much time, I would just give the stage to Professor Ranjan. Welcome, sir. Thank you.
Okay, Dr. Patel, we were meeting last few times here and there everywhere, and we were saying that something has to happen. Why you are meeting so often? So I'm here today. Maybe this was the reason, but I think bigger reasons await. So I'm very happy to be here. This is my third talk today, so if my energy level is a little down, excuse me. I'll go over to the topic, but as Dr. Patel said, that TIFAC is an organization whose task is to look ahead in terms of what technology is likely to come. We look at 15-20 years time scale, not today and tomorrow issues. And you might be aware we brought our Technology Vision 2035 document last year, Prime Minister released that. And we are bringing 12 roadmaps to achieve that vision. Out of that, 5 roadmaps have been released last year, and we expect the rest of them will be released throughout this year and maybe early part of next year. So that's the brief introduction. We had released Technology Vision 2020 earlier. That time Dr. Kalam was chairman in 96, and now Dr. Anil Kapotkar is chairman. So let me come over to this topic. Of course, there's a problem here that we'll have to look at that side and this side, but there's a video also, so you can see that side as well.
And live streaming is there.
Live streaming is there on Facebook. It is going live. And this is the first time, today morning I tried this out, but the audio did not go. This time I'm hoping that audio is also going there. I was a professor at University, Dhirubhai Ambani Institute. I was a professor at Dhirubhai Ambani Institute. Okay, that color is coming in, no problem. We came across a situation where 2 girls, Ramya and Pallavi, they're my students from Hyderabad, they came across a newspaper story where a girl called Bhavna from Chennai, who had cerebral palsy. She passed class 10th. She could not speak, she could not move her fingers. She could move a little bit of hand, but not a proper finger movement. And since she passed class 10th, there was a newspaper story about her. So these girls from Hyderabad traveled to Chennai to look at her condition. They came back and told me about her condition, and they wanted to do a project with her. So one of the things that we started was to develop a hand gesture-based device which will allow her to operate TV, because she did not have proper finger movement, so she could not press a remote control button. So due to this, she was dependent on somebody else. So what I said that let's use whatever ability she has. So if her hand gesture is there, she moves her hand up, the TV channel should go up. She moves her down, TV channel should go down. She turns it left, volume goes down, turns it right, volume goes up. So both normally when you operate TV, what we do is to change the channel and the volume. So this is how we started into this. And slowly from one batch of a student to next batch of a student and so on, we started to make progress. So you can see that this is being tested in Blind People Association in Ahmedabad in 2010. This girl, Kajal, testing this early stage, just PCBs, testing in Paldi area of Ahmedabad. This girl Parvati testing it, again she's also from Paldi area of Ahmedabad. this boy Akshat from Patna. You can see the hairband we have used here and so on. This is just early part of testing, just to get a feedback as to whether it works or not in different conditions. Then when we were successful, after a couple of batches of students, we were told that why only TV, why not other things? Why not light, why not fan, why not air conditioner, why not music system, why not computer? So we made sure that everything can be operated within a room through the single device. And later on I was told that this is called environment control system. I did not know the name. I was just going ahead. And we got an award, HP 2009 award for this purpose. National Trust funded us, which is the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment Organization. I also had some IBM funds from earlier time. So I used all of that to actually pursue this work further. You can see that one of the devices here that's been developed. This here you have to point out towards the device. Like normally when you press a remote control button, you need to point out towards the device you want to operate. So in this particular case, you have to point out towards the device to operate. But many persons with disability do not have the capability to turn around. So suppose air conditioner in the back, they cannot turn around. So we made another device which is in two pieces. So one piece is monitoring the gesture and the other piece is sitting in the room somewhere and it is actually controlling the device. And these two are connected by wireless. You can see this device being used by Parth in Ahmedabad, this boy Sumit in Delhi, his brother Rohit in Delhi. These two boys from Delhi actually cannot sit. They could not operate a remote control button, but they used to love to watch cricket. At that time when we gave them, the World Cup was going on and it was a boon for them that they could start to watch cricket all by themselves. This girl, Neha Agrawal, again from Delhi, she lives in the Assam area. When I met her, she was about 16, 17 years old. She cannot speak, she could not move. Even her hand movement is not under control. Finger movement was not there. She wanted to raise her hand, it will go in a jerk like this. She wants to keep it, it will hit very hard on the table. Her mother told me that at night sometime when she moves her hand, it actually slaps her so hard, mother, that she starts to cry. She has no control or slow. So she would sit on the wheelchair, watch TV, and she wanted somebody to be around so that the person could change the channels. Once we gave it to her, and you can see that she's operating this device, after she got used to it, her first reaction was to throw out everybody from the room so that she could do what she wanted. She did not want to be dependent on somebody. And I know if you cannot probably see the smile on her face, but this is what I say that science and technology is supposed to do, is to put smile on faces of people, to serve the society, to serve the nation. But most of the time, our scientists are busy producing papers and publications. That is the focus. But this is the real science and technology. And that's why I'm very happy that Honorable Prime Minister's office actually decided this theme this time. Not only this, they put focus on Children's Science Congress, same theme has been brought, and probably this is going to go on and on as we go along. I'm trying to very focus on this. This is a Chennai event. I moved around the country all over at different places, not especially for this purpose, but wherever I would go for some official purpose, I would meet people with disability, look at their problem and so on. Through social networking, I'm well connected. There are thousands of followers of mine, through hospitals and so on. I came across hundreds of problems of various kinds. If you see people there talking about, there are people with quadriplegic, ALS, MND, motor neuron disease, stroke patients and so on. It's very difficult to meet them. There are people who are little easier, CP affected children, paraplegic, amputee and so on. But what was very important was each person had unique needs. So I have not met two children with cerebral palsy who have a unique requirement, similar requirement. Each person had unique needs, and number of different people wrote to me, talked to me, phone, chat, whatever, that can we help me? There are all kind of things. I'll not go into these. Just take an example. For example, I came across a video of this girl, Sarita Dwivedi. She is from UP. She lost both her hand and one leg in a childhood accident when she was playing on the roof. A power line fell on her and she had to amputate it. So only thing she has is one leg. But she's a President's Award winner. She's done Madhuri painting, foot and mouth painting she does. So she uses foot and mouth to do the painting. Those of you who know Madhuri painting is very famous arts and needs very fine stroke. But she has that much control using the foot and mouth that she can do that. She can do sculpture, she can do embroidery. When I contacted her and asked her that, I have developed some of the technology, maybe it can help you. Her first reaction was that I don't need any help. I can do whatever I need to. Then she told me I cannot do three things only. Those three things are tying her hair, putting her clothes, and a prosthetic leg that she has that she uses sometimes. These are three things she said that she cannot do. I told her that actually you are not the person with disability. I am the person with disability, because with my all hands and legs I cannot do the kind of painting that you do, kind of sculpture that you do, kind of embroidery you do. So actually almost all of us are disabled in our own way. Some are visible, some are not. In fact, most of the people, well-bodied people, are mentally, many of us have mental problems, either not seen, or you can see a lot of crime that happens in society, which with all the good things they have, they use it in bad. So I told her that I'm a disabled person, not you. So then I pressed her that tell me something I can help you with. And after she was doing Bachelor in Fine Arts at Allahabad University at the time, she told me I need a computer. I said, okay, that is done, no problem, because that only needs money. I told her that, can you tell me about something that you want to do, it's your dream, but you're not able to do, you think it's not possible, even if it's not possible anywhere in the world. Then she told me that, can I drive a wheelchair? She doesn't have a hand. Normally, if you say electric wheelchair, there's a joystick that you need to operate. I said it will be done. So she was very surprised. Then she got a little interested in what I was saying. Before that, no, she must be getting a lot of calls, so she was not interested. She said, how will you do? I don't have hands. I said, I will use your head movement, your voice, or your one leg that you have. Finally, I talked to a wheelchair manufacturer, and we got a wheelchair made which has a joystick that she can operate with her leg. And for the last 5 years, she's been using. Recently, a few months back, it was broken in an Air India flight, but she's got a replacement back. And actually, I'm not going to more story of this, but she's using it. Now she works in Elimco, and actually she lives within this campus, and from her home to office, she goes back and forth 4 times. We have a school in Patna, actually, which my family is associated with. And this slogan I saw there, it says, count the ability, not the disability. And we must focus on the positive aspect of a person's ability. Rather than saying that person does not have a hand, person does not have a leg, let's look at what the person has, what the person can do, rather than what person cannot do. Look at the positive aspect of life rather than the negative aspect. So actually this slogan changed my life as well. And I said that let me look at the ability of the person. So what you see on the left side of this table is the ability of a person, whether it's hand movement, leg movement, head movement, voice, eye movement or eye blink. There was a girl, Neha Agarwal from Delhi itself, her mother told me that she only communicates through her eye movement. Then you have facial expressions, our smile, our eye blink and so on. In certain cases, conscious thought, all of us have thoughts, muscle movement, and there are a couple of other things that we did. For example, being able to blow and suck air through a straw, we can use that, or through touch screen devices that we have. What you see on the left is the ability. The right side you see the different technologies that we used. The green dot means the technology which has been done in the lab given to users. The yellow means it has been done in the lab but not given to users. White means the work is going on. The one that I would like to focus more on is this BCI part, brain-computer interface part. For example, if I look at eye movement or eye blink, I could either use a camera to look at the person and their eye movement or eye blink, or I could capture the brainwaves directly and interpret that to understand whether the person is blinking eye or something like that. Now this was the ability of the person and what signal we are getting from there, what they want to do. And then we map it to what they want to operate, for example, the light, fan, TV, computer. But through speech synthesis I can make for people to speak as well as all operate wheelchair or open door, gate, either water tap. These are the people who told us that these are the kind of things we want to do. But we also made it possible that simple electrical machinery can be operated, because I found that people who were economically productive were respected by family, respected by society, otherwise left in the corner of a house. So economic productivity is very important. So if they can operate a simple electrical machinery through gesture, through voice, or through thoughts, for example, a drill machine or a security barrier, they would have a job that can earn them money. In fact, this story was covered in May 2013 in Employment News in the front page itself. I had written this article at the request that how we can make persons with disability employable, economically employable, and I discussed this various technology for that purpose. Of course, the touch screen technology came in 5, 6, 7 years back, a strong way, but I remember computer had come around 2000, 2004, 2005, And that time I developed an application so that people, by touching that, they could speak through that system. But computer went out of circulation, it was not commercially successful. Again, Android devices came in, then we started to use that. For example, you see this particular app, it's free to download. It's just an icon-based system that you can touch and speak your normal requirements if you're not able to communicate. And at the bottom you see Ma is also there, because sometimes in social media you see the joke that when children come home, if father is there, they will ask only one question, where is mother? And mother is there, there are hundreds of questions. So we have only put Ma button there and not father button. But they can communicate, I'm hungry, I'm thirsty, I want to go to bathroom and so on. But these kind of apps are available, but mostly for American audience, for within English in the American context. So we made it sure that we can do it in any language. So we provided language button here, gender button, so male and female, and you can change everything. Even if you are not able to touch the screen in a fine way, we could make it in course and so on. I'm not going to details of these. This app is free to download. It's customizable. You can download it. You can change the voice. You can change the icons as per your need. I remember one lady from Gurgaon. She wanted her servants' names to be put there. So she wants to call this particular servant. She will press that. She will want another servant. Because that was her need. So all that is customizable and it's all free of cost. This girl actually has dystonic cerebral palsy. I'm showing her picture because she was the first child whom I met when she was 6 years old when we were testing these devices. After that, we were not in touch. After 3 years, her father again brought her back to us. She's non-verbal. Dystonic cerebral palsy means that from brain, a noisy signal goes and muscles and everything becomes tight. And it's very difficult condition. She's not able to speak and so on. But when after 3 years she came back, by the time we had learned much better and we could start to get her to type and so on and so forth. I'm not going into details of again this, but it's a very interesting story by itself. This lady, Madhuri, actually, she was working at Indian Institute of Cerebral Palsy in Calcutta. Her pet name is Mitu, unfortunately she is no more. She cannot speak, she could not sit properly also, and even head was not straight. She used to use this head pointer to point out things. We made something for her so that she could start to communicate through a touch screen based device. You can see the smile on her face after using this. Another naughty girl, Ganga, actually, again, she cannot speak and so on. We learned how to get her to do things by first allowing her to play with a piano on a touch screen phone. First time when I met her, she would just bang her head on the chair. She had no interest in us trying to get her to communicate. This boy, Hitans, again, dystonic cerebral palsy from Bombay. This boy, autistic children love to learn from electronic gadgets. So he is trying to learn alphabets from that. Same boy is actually in Bombay is trying to use this to control various things in the room. And what we found was that being able to operate simple things like light and so on was of course very happy for the news for them. But we also put a little button so that they could operate remote control toys. For children, playing with toys was very important, and since they could not press remote control button, putting a remote control toy button on that screen helped them a lot, and they could play around with that. Let me come to the brain part. Actually, that's where I'm going to focus a little bit more on that. So brain-computer interface work has been going for more than 40 years. Cochlear implant is one of the examples of that, which allows you to have much better hearing than possible otherwise. It's very costly, but India, DRDO as a technology is slowly getting commercialized. Maybe that will make it cheaper. To use brain-computer interface, mostly what is done is to capture the brain waves, or scientifically known as EEG waves. And these have been discovered for more than 90 years back. The doctors use these in the medical college, hospitals, labs, and so on. Interpretation of these EEG waves is very complex. They record it and offline they discuss. But because of technological development, like embedded systems and so on, it became possible to carry real-time analysis of these things. As you are capturing the signals, it's also being analyzed. There are processes embedded, and then through wireless communication, it's connected to computer. These devices started to appear. And my first, when I came across this was because of one of the journalists, science journalists. He made a mistake. He wrote a front page story talking about my gesture-based system. He wrote it as a thought-based system. So हिंदी में उसने लिखा कि इशारों से चलने के बदले में विचारों से चलने वाला आपको. And he put it on the front page headline. And I said to myself, that God, what has he done? And now people will come and ask me how you're using thoughts to do this, and I will have no answer. But then I must thank him that it inspired me or instigated me to see if I can prove him right. This was the story of 2010 newspaper, and I started looking for something like this. I came across a neuro headset that was actually developed for playing computer games. So it became very cheap. And children will play computer games without having to touch the screen through their brainwaves and so on. And I took advantage of that. In 2010, I tried to buy it. It had just come to market, only available in US and Canada. Finally, in 2011, I remember May, I could get this device in my hands with, I'll not go into details of this. It has 16 electrodes. After that, 2 are ground and 14 are electrodes, measures EEG waves, the EEG potential of our skull. So this is a picture from July 1st, 2011. I took a little break in the May summer vacation, and June I worked 1 month. Then July 1st, 2011, I demonstrated to the two of these are engineers or one is a student. I demonstrated to everybody that how through my smile or through my eye blink, I can control light, TV and other things in the room. No touching, no wires, nothing, just through this I can control this in the room. And so I actually proved that journalists write by doing based on thoughts and brainwaves. And then I was looking for a person whom I could help with this technology. I had a technology, but I didn't have a person to help. So I went to Principal Secretary Health in Gujarat at that time. He said that, okay, this is a very good thing. I'm sure that 15, 20 devices we can use immediately. He sent me to Ahmedabad Medical College, Civil Hospital. It's a civil hospital called Medical College. I went there, I gave talk to medical personnel, they clapped, they said awesome, chamatkar and all kind of words. But when I asked them to tell me a person whom I could try it out, they were all blank. They said that people come to get treated and then they go and we don't have any records of them, so we can't kill you. So I was very frustrated that how to get in touch with somebody useful, a user who could find us useful. Then, as luck would have it, I received a call from Rashmi Bansal. I'm sure many of you would have heard her name, Rashmi Bansal, famous author. She's written books like Stay Hungry, Stay Foolish, Connect the Dots, and so on. She mainly focuses on entrepreneurship, and her books sell in lakhs. She had graduated from IIM Ahmedabad in 1993. She told me that one of her batchmates today has some problem, and they've set up a trust for him to go through his life, his wife and a child. But she said that I just met him in Coimbatore, and I just remembered you that maybe you can help. And Rashmi had come to my lab and seen some things, and at an early stage. Now the story is that in 1993 he graduated from Ahmedabad, and at the age of 32 in 99 he had a brain stem stroke, due to which he lost his hand movement, he lost his leg movement, he has no voice, he can hear and see, so he can take input, but he cannot express anything. The only way he could communicate was through blink of his eyes. So this is called locked-in condition. Complete locked-in means the person cannot even blink eyes. Okay. But he could blink eyes. So 5 years back, we provided him a brain-computer interface-based device, which his wife wrote to me that you have given him a second life. See how it works. This is a historic video. In this particular case, what we have done is that we capture his head movement. Left, right, up, down is mapped to mouse cursor on the screen. So when he moves his head, left, right, up, down, the mouse cursor moves. We have given him an on-screen keyboard, whichever character he wants to type, he takes the cursor there, and then he blinks his eyes. His eye blink is captured using EEG waves, the brain waves, and we back that to left mouse click of the computer. So effectively he's using this as a mouse, like he's moving his head to place the cursor on the character, and then he blinks his eyes, which acts as left mouse click, and thereby it starts to type on the computer. Now, so after 13 years, he's typing this particular, for the first time, he's able to type by himself. And you know what he's trying to type? Normally when I ask this question to people, they say that I will try to type my name or thank God or something like that. What he's trying to type, can you guess? His wife's name. For 13 years, he was dependent on his wife. At least ladies should clap here because Jaya, you see that he's trying to write J-A. The 4 letters Jaya is called popularly. In trying to write those 4 letters, his head was shaking so much that it took him 3 to 4 minutes, but he finally completed that. But that was the beginning had been made. Next day, we showed to him how he could operate things like live TV and so on. So you see that he's going to try to blow this bulb here with the blink of his eye, and then he will put it off, and you will then put it on again, and then you might be able to see the smile on his face in being able to do simple tasks like putting the light on and off and so on. And then I had many plans to get him to do things, but unfortunately I moved to Delhi. Fortunately, unfortunately, I don't know, and so all of this work stopped. But we, of course, we made the system a little better so that after 1 month, software developed better so he could start to type on his own in a better way. A journalist again made a mistake. Without taking permission of the family, he published this on the front page on Times of India. Although I got him to promise that he must talk to the family member before publishing, because Suresh had told us that he's going to write to his batchmates who were supporting him by himself. So we were all keeping, myself and Rasul were keeping quiet. And suddenly this fellow took the story, and I told him that he gave his wife's number, that you check with them whether they're okay with this or not. Unfortunately, morning I get up and the newspaper I see suddenly front page, second page, the big story. Then of course the 7th April 2012, Rashmi Bansal herself and said that now the news is out, she also will write about it. And she thought it was a miracle. Okay? But for us, it is science and technology, it's not a miracle. But most important was that Suresh himself writing, I can type. And NISCAIR is very important because he is saying that I can communicate. And you see the whole story that he's written. But every week he writes 1 or 2 blogs, he reads, and if you read his language, it's excellent. So even I cannot write 10% of the kind of language, the kind of thing that he can express. He writes on various topics that he reads and so on. He's been doing it for the last so many years. I also gave him a birthday gift of 6th April 2012, how he could communicate, speak through the system, but he's not using it. Okay, another communicator, Charu Khanda. She is an animator, or was an animator. Ravan movie chief animator. He's from Charu, is from Jaipur. On 23rd March 2012, she received the National Award for animation for that particular movie. I'm sure some of you might have seen this movie. I have not seen, but I was told that animation was excellent. Charu was the chief animator of this. 23rd March she received the award, and 24th March when she is returning back in night from dinner along with her sister Mona and a boy Ikram, she was hit the auto was hit by a drunk driver from the back. Both the boy and Charu were sitting on the 2 sides. They were severely injured. She went into coma actually, and the sister Mona was a little less injured. She was admitted in Koklabin Hospital. People contacted me on Facebook asking whether I could help Charu. I told them that I don't know what is her condition. But as luck would have it, I'd gone to Koklabin Hospital because doctors told me that we don't understand what kind of work you're doing. So you please come and you come to Bombay, visit us and tell us what you're doing. So I went there, I gave talk. At lunchtime, doctors are not free. Otherwise, lunchtime, when they were having lunch, I gave a talk. But they had collected all the 50, 60 people were there. Then they understood and they took me to her, saying that, let me take you to celebrity. By the time she had recovered to the extent she could speak, but neck down she was paralyzed. In spinal cord C4, C5, that means neck down she was paralyzed. And then doctor told her that, what do you miss maximum? She was doing physiotherapy at the time we met. She said, I miss computers because for animators, computers is life. Then he introduced me saying, this is Dr. Ranjan, he's a scientist, he'll make you work on computer today. So we went back to her room after some time. Fortunately that day both her sisters, her fiance, her mother, everybody was there. And within 2 to 3 minutes she started to type using the same system. Then her response was that she wanted to play games. I did not have games on my computer. Then she started to do painting because she was an animator. Then I promised her that I'll get her to do animation, whatever condition you are. But the first reaction of people when they come into such situations is to get cured. So they go through a phase which is called acceptance phase. That now, after 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, depends on person to person, that I will have to now work within these constraints. She was going through the same phase. I got busy in Delhi. Just this Diwali, on 29th October 2016, my daughter finished her PhD and came back from US, and her sasural is in Jaipur. So she landed here 1 day before Diwali and she said, let's all of us go to Jaipur. So we went, and Charu contacted me on Facebook saying that I'm also in Jaipur, happy Diwali. I said that how are you typing because your hands are not moving. She said that I've got a little bit of finger movement on the left, and somehow through touch screen phone I can touch and type on that, but it's very painful. So I immediately said that I'll come and meet you and see how you can work. So I then showed her how she could use the same touch screen phone to type on the bigger computer and so on. And I told her that you can also use the speech recognition and so on. And by the night time, 10:30, she had perfected the speech recognition part. She typed back to me saying that, okay, I'm able to type very nicely. And I told her that now I'll put you in touch with Bombay film industry. And instead of focusing on animation, you do voice editing, voice dubbing, voice over and so on, because you can use your voice. Then later we will see whether we can do animation. You can see that she started to do this. I put her in touch with Bombay filmmakers, the most recognized voice trainer in Bombay film industry. Through Skype, she started to train her, and through YouTube and all, she also started to train herself. And she was about to get an assignment for a popular science series that I'm involved with. On behalf of that, unfortunately, this happened and she's no more. She had a viral infection and she did not survive. And in fact, you can see that this movement mirror, they put my picture from Facebook only on this. And so, unfortunately, when I was very hopeful of getting her back to life, she's no more. Many stories, I'm not going to those. But what we do is to capture through easy ways, we are able to recognize certain facial expressions, certain emotions, and certain conscious thoughts related to motor movements from motor cortex region. The one thing that I want to share with you was people who are in vegetative state were not able to communicate by any means. I was trying to get them to communicate. Not successful, but I will still share the story because some success has been now seen in last few weeks. In this case, like these two gentlemen from Delhi, for example, left one, the Sardarji there is a neurophysiotherapist from AIMS. He put me in touch, and the other gentleman on the right side with another private hospital, they put me in touch with them, trying to say that, no, can you get them to communicate? This was about 5 years back. I, of course, didn't have much time, so a few hours I tried with both of them, and also one gentleman who was vice chancellor of Nirma University in Ahmedabad, their family also came in touch. In this case, what we try to do is the following. We try to capture their brain activity in real time and ask them to imagine certain scenes. And if the brain activity every time responds, when I ask them to imagine scene one, the brain activity exactly matches the same thing every time. That means I know that they're imagining scene one. And then scene two, which has a different pattern, we ask them to do. And if every time I'm saying scene one and scene two, the brain patterns are consistent, then I can tell them that if you want to say yes, you imagine scene one, you want to say no, imagine scene two. This is the effort we were trying to do. Of course, neither I had more time, nor I was successful in this particular case, but recently somebody around outside India has succeeded in this by making people communicate through this means. So this is another means of communication, and maybe once you can get them to do that, they can also do science communication. Let me come to the last part of this talk. When I was able to understand how to use this brain-computer interface, then I thought that can I focus on learning disability? Can I identify children who have learning disability even before they start to show symptoms? Let me tell you one interesting thing. Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment tried to help children with learning disability by giving some relaxation in the exam, like giving some extra time or giving some helper and so on. Immediately the number of children with learning disability went up. Because every parent came and said that my child is learning disabled. This is the Indian mentality that, he also should be given half an hour extra or 1 hour extra and so on. So everybody started to line up. So they're looking for a way that how to objectively identify whether really the child has learning disability or they're faking it. But anyway, my interest was to understand learning disabilities. I came across a research work done by a scientist who said that if you look at the beta 1 wave of the brain, that is about 13 to 17 hertz, and theta wave, which is lower frequency, and that ratio is lower, then the child may have learning disability. Theta is like a noise. That means if too much noise in the brain, or beta 1 is like processing power, too less processing capability. Either too much noise in the brain or too less processing power, a child may have learning disability. Of course, this degree varies, all of us are affected in some way or other. Many times it can happen that we are not able to focus on our work because our mind has too many things going on. Adult ADHD, for example, has been growing up rampantly. In the US, for example, almost large number of people are now recognized to have adult ADHD. Once I did this, I realized this, that it can be done like this. Then I said that can I actually help such persons? I learned a technique. It's saying it should be brainwave entrainment by which in which through audio-visual stimulus I can control the brain waves. And advanced version of called neurofeedback, where I actually also measure the response of brain to that and then adjust things. But I also learned that ancient techniques like yoga, pranayam, kundalini, chakra and so on, they also help you in improving your brain activity in various ways. One thing I would like to share from traditional knowledge, for example, many of you, I don't know how many of you were given punishment to hold your ears and do sit-ups in the school. But our time it used to be very popular that, naughty children or people not doing well, they were asked to go and do sit-ups. Kaam karke, uthawati. Now, of course, I think the teachers cannot do this. They will be, said that you're thrown out of school and things like that. But I'll tell you something. This is now called super brain yoga. It's called super brain yoga. It was not a punishment. It was exercise to improve our brain. So actually, it was for thousands of years. This was exercise given to children so that their learning could improve. We forgot sometime. Forgot why we are doing it. And we thought it's being given because child is naughty, child is not doing well, it's a punishment. So what was a good exercise? The brain was lost in our history. And this is where the communication has to come in. It's now rediscovered as super brain yoga. You put on YouTube, you will find that medical college people 50 years plus and so on in American hospitals, in Japanese, they will be doing sit-up. You have to do it right way to hold your ears like this. Like you see people go to Ganesh and they do like this in various places. Hold like this while you're sitting down, inhale, while you're getting up, exhale. These are traditional knowledge to improve the brain. But we forgot all about this. But started to help children with Down syndrome, ADD, ADHD and so on. But I also found that I could help adults with various mental health related problems, for example, insomnia, depression and so on. One of them was my student who missed my exam due to depression. And after exam, when she came back later on, I gave her a sound that helped her go to very good sleep. And then over 3 days she improved and she told me in her Facebook, she sent me a message saying that thank you, Professor, I'm feeling in heaven and everybody should try it. But she's in Delhi also, she came to meet me recently. So I started to help adults and so on. Last part of the story, as time is run out, is a lady met me in Delhi in 2012 when I was helping children. She told me that she has severe mental health problems. With her own writing, I've shared in my blog. She said that for last 15 years I've suffered from sleep disorders. She could not sleep for 7 to 10 days, anxiety, memory loss, all kind of things. She was in Delhi, not in the remote corner of the country. She had access to best medical facilities. She tried allopathy, homeopathy, acupuncture and so on. She was taking medicine for 10 years, but it was not helping her. Somebody told her that, to meet me and they thought that I know a lot about brain, which I don't. I only learned about brain so much that I could connect brain to computer and help people. I was not doing research in brain. Somebody asked me various parts of the brain and so on, I will not. So I told her, look, I don't know much, but let me try to help you. So I gave her something that will put her to sleep in a better way. So she started to feel better, 5-6 hours a night she could sleep. Then she came back next time to me. I remember 2013 I had come to Delhi before I joined TIFAC to give a talk at AIMS. And she came and said that, can you make me give exam? I said that, I laughed at her and said that, if you give exam, you give exam. How can I help you? She said, you don't understand. I've been trying to give exam of CA for last 15 years. May and November exams are there. Twice every year I fill the form, 30 times I fill the form, but when I study I understand, but I can't remember anything. Nothing goes into my memory. I cannot retain it in memory. So how do I give exam? So she had a lot of faith in me. She saw that somehow I can help. I gave her a sound which helps students with focus and concentration to improve their learning capability. But then something personal happened to me in August 2012. I had gallbladder stone related pain. I had to come to Delhi because of the TIFAC Selection Committee meeting on 17th August 2012. And I had to receive an award on pre-independence on 14th August for my work. And just 5, 6, 10 days before that, I had problem with gallbladder stones. So I asked doctor that should I cancel Delhi trip or can I go? He said that you go but be on bed rest and zero fat food. I said, okay, I used to stay in Lance Guest House in Nehru Place. I stayed there, canceled everything. And I had nothing to do except lying on the bed for 5 days. So I was going through internet, finding something which will help me not do the surgery but remove the stones from gallbladder without surgery. I came across a German book. The gentleman had a lot of health problems. Finally, he came to India at the age of 21 to learn Ayurveda. He solved his health problem and then devoted his life to to this. So I followed that and actually cleared my gallbladder of stones, and actually my gallbladder is still there, no surgery. And I did ultrasound to actually show to my wife that yes, it is done. Okay. I even see has done it. But when I went through that book more carefully, I found that hundreds of conditions it can help us if we clean our inner organs, that is gallbladder, kidney, colon, and liver. This now we call it internal hygiene, just like we clean our hands, our brush our teeth and so on. The internal hygiene is very important for all of us. Surprisingly, I started to promote this to social media and so on. I told her also that it may help you in some way, like a lot of my generals have lost a lot of weight, many people have back problems, all kind of things happen. So I told her also why don't you try it out. Surprisingly, I remember 20th March 2013, I told her, and 7th April, after about 20 days or so, she contacted me saying that now I am able to learn everything, I can retain things in my mind, and for the first time in 15 years, she's able to start giving, do problems, and she started to give exams and so on. Now she's written a book and so on. So this was a miracle to me. I did not understand. Even today on my blog, you can see my blog Ranjan.in. Even till today, I have written the miracle story because I did not know how it happened. But Director General of CSR, Samir Brahmachari, was there at that time, and I had come to Delhi. I met him, and he explained to me scientifically. I'm not going to that, but I realized that our body is holistic, and we must make sure that our food and body and mind are taken care together in a holistic way. And now what I'm trying to do is to look at all of this together, how to improve the learning of the children, how to maximize the learning of a child. We have a school in Patna, we're working there on these things. We use brain monitors and so on. And my elder brother, who was an IAS officer, he just retired, he's in 41 books. Now he's living in the school, and in fact I'll be also going the weekend there. So we are working on how to bring this system into our education system. Last slide I have is that we set up a portal called swavlamban.info. With the help of Department for Empowerment Persons with Disability. It was launched by President of India on December 3, 2014. It has a list of all the assistive devices available in India, about 2,500 of them. It has all the technology being developed in the Indian labs. It has international linkages to where you can get these devices. Also future technologies that are likely to come that is shared and used every day. Now this is being handled by Alimco, which is the government company that manufactures artificial limbs. So coming to the end of the talk, I always emphasize that combining India's traditional knowledge and modern science is a winning combination. We must combine both of these. And whole of my life I focus on real problems and not problems that I can do rather than what needs to be done. We need to focus on what needs to be done rather than what I can do. And then once you do that, a lot of innovations automatically happen. And assistive technology to help persons with disability gives us billions of opportunity in this way. And so I've been telling people that please focus on this. Look at your family, look at your society around you, find a lot of people. In fact, I'll just give you one example and stop. For example, one of my students, he was an engineering student. When he joined, I gave a talk in the orientation program. Surprising, that fellow never came to meet me, whose father was affected himself. Never came and met me until father himself connected to me after 3 months. And then I went to his house. But the son never told me that his father in this condition, I could help him. So this is the empathy that we must have. Somebody who doesn't look at his or her family members, what can they do in society? So science and technology is not for getting marks or getting papers, publications, promotion and so on, but to help society. At this point, I'd like to stop. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We can have a couple of questions if you have in mind. Or any comments, anything?
So I just would like to congratulate you for doing such a wonderful work.
Thank you.
So the talk was beautiful because the aim is beautiful, sir. You're working for the society. So we hope that we have many more people like you.
In fact, I would like to also share that my daughter, she also worked, she went to do PhD in US in 2011. Before that, she had worked with me also and a couple of engineers. Now she finished her PhD from US and came back. And now she decided not to do a regular job, but devote her life also to develop technology to help people with disability. So more and more people like this come forward, then society will change. But most of the time our focus is how to get into a rat race of paper and publication and so on. So hopefully more and more people will come. And most important is to even if you're not working in this area, you can, bridge the gap so that the information goes to people. There are lakhs and lakhs of people who can be helped. But 1 or 2% cannot make change. It has to be a movement that has to be done. And that is what the science day is symbolizing. Thank you. Any other questions, comments?
Just one small question.
Yeah.
Firstly, congratulations on doing such a wonderful job. I think this is science and technology with direct impact on human life. You have to interact with people with special abilities, and it's a very sort of nuanced interaction that you need to have. Have you had some training in psychiatry, psychology also?
No, not really, but everything cannot be done by a technology developer. You expect that person will develop technology, go to user, communicate to them, and so on. That's not possible. So we need to work with as a team. There are different people who may have that capability. So we have gone to medical colleges, hospitals, physiotherapists, and so on. We explain to them wherever we can, and so on. But it needs a bigger thing. Expecting me to do everything is obviously impossible to do that. Well, even if I could do the training and so on, we have learned some of this training ourselves, like playing with children. We realize that when you go to children, ask them to try type on computer, they will refuse. So we learned how to understand styles. Some amount of that we have done self-learning. But I think it's important that the message of the science day is that more and more people should join together. And just one more thing I'd like to point out. The term special ability has been wrongly used. It's no longer permitted by Government of India. Only term that we can use is persons with disability. Neither special ability, nor differently able, nor physically handicapped, nor physically challenged. All of these have been banned. The department name has been changed. Now Department of Disability Affairs changed to Department of Empowerment of Persons with Disabilities. That is the commitment we have made to things. So person comes first. We can no longer say blind is person with visual impairment, person with hearing impairment, person with speech impairment, and so on. Unfortunately, even the theme of this was especially able was put somewhere, either in DST or somewhere else. So that's the wrong thing. We have to be careful about this. Hopefully, Prime Minister's office doesn't come up on this. I just wanted to say because unfortunately, but DST itself has these terms. Thank you.
Now the actual term is Divyang.
Divyang in Hindi, Prime Minister, everything, but English we use the persons with disability.
Persons with disability.
Yeah. So similarly, you can't say blind. Person with visual impairment, person with hearing impairment, person with speech impairment.
Okay,
The person word comes first.
That word is not normal.
Those things are all bad. Differently able, especially able, differently, physically challenged, physically handicapped. All the institutions' names are also being changed accordingly. Departments' ministry names have been changed and so on.
Can we implement biosciences techniques with these kind of students?
And for what purpose?
Sir, suppose it's about brain. Whenever there is a stress, whenever there is a stress in our body, there are certain hormones which release. So we can capture those and we can express those things in the.
Yes, I have only looked at the brain signal. If there are additional signals that body gives, of course it can be used. For example, just look at one case like epilepsy. Many times we don't know what triggers that epilepsy attack. So if you are able to monitor the brain on, say, like somebody wearing this headset without much, they can do normal function. When the attack happens, before that you come to know that what was happening, which triggered that, then we will know the cause and avoid that. So similarly, biosensors can also give us information. So I'm a person of sensors. Any sensor is very useful. So that's which form it comes doesn't matter. Okay, but yeah, definitely it can. Thank you. Stop. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. We really appreciate you for the commendable work. You are touching lives for making difference in the lives of others, and you have actually touched our heart. I would now request Mr. Sanjay Bode to give a vote of thanks. Thank you.
Professor Ranjan, respected Director Sir, my colleagues. It is a privilege for me to extend a vote of thanks to all those who have contributed to this one way and the other. I, on behalf of NISCAIR, convey deep regards and hearty thanks to Professor Ranjan for gracing the occasion and sharing with us his vision on today's topic. We are greatly encouraged by your gracious presence and immensely benefited by your inspiring lecture. Thank you once again for gracing this occasion. I also thank our respected director who guided us for this today's program. It is possible because